Welcome back to Permaculture Now. We're going to talk about our top 5 permaculture plants we use in our systems here. So number 5 is Comfrey. This is the only one on the list that's not a native plant, but it has so many uses that we're gonna consider it a high value plant in our systems. So the leaves can be pulled off, or you can take a machete and chop it down, and these can be added around other plants as fertilizer. This eliminates your need to bring fertilizers into your system. The flowers are beautiful and they attract lots of pollinators, so it helps serve in the insectiary layer and brings in different insects and pollinators for your gardens and your fruit trees. Also, something really cool about Comfrey is if you dig under it in the wintertime, you'll find there's a high density of spiders in the soil underneath of there. They also like these really rough leaves. And so when you dig under there, you find all these spiders. So that means that in the spring, you have lots of spiders that emerge and help you do biological pest control in your gardens. So in one plant, we're eliminating the need to bring in outside fertilizers, to have pesticides to spray, and we're also attracting beneficial insects into the garden. There's many also medicinal uses for it. You can use it for as a hot compress if you have internal injuries. My son used this on his broken leg, we think with pretty good success. It is pretty itchy when you use it like that. People make it into salves. There's lots of different uses, medicinal uses for it. So this is the one plant that we're not really considering so much a food plant, although some people do have some food uses for it, but we don't really eat it. We use it for other things that we listed in our garden. So this is number 5 on our list. 4 on our list, and these are native to our region. We're going over violets. So violets are, a lot of people know you can eat the flowers, but not many people know you can eat the leaves too. They're pretty good when they're young, mixed into salads. They're also a host plant for many species of Lepidoptera, lots of fritillary butterflies and caterpillars. They're really cool spiky caterpillars that you can find on these guys. They make a great native ground cover, so they'll grow in the shade under your trees, especially as your food forest starts to fill in. So we encourage violets. We didn't plant any here. We just selected for them. We weeded around them a little bit at a time. We didn't mow patches that were developing, and they will slowly start to spread throughout, but they're also not a troublesome ground cover that's going to cause you problems in the future. They have so many great uses. I don't know why anybody would ever not want them in their gardens. They're also beautiful. So that's why they are number 4 on our list. They have edible flowers. They have edible leaves. They're a host plant. They're native. They're great ground covers. They help conserve water in your soil, a great living mulch, and they tolerate a variety of conditions, sun and shade. So that's number 4 on our list, violets. What we're gonna do is number 3. These are, we're gonna cheat a little bit and say Helianthus species. So we're going for Jerusalem artichokes here, an amazing plant that we talked a little bit about before. So they create a great living mulch, lots and lots of biomass. They are a little bit aggressive, but they have an edible tuber that's actually very low, affects your blood sugar very minimally. So a great substitution for potatoes, especially for diabetics. They have amazing flowers that are beautiful, that smell kind of like dark chocolate, attract all kinds of interesting pollinators, help facilitate the growth of mushrooms in the system, especially morels. And then the annual species, the Helianthus annuus, they are great. You'll see birds eating the seeds. We can also eat the seeds. So there's many different uses for sunflowers. They're also native to North America, so that's another native species on our list. So that's number 3 on our list. Now we're moving to Paw Paws. So we also talked about Paw Paws too. The Paw Paw Fruit is an amazing fruit. Some people enjoy it, some people don't, but everybody finds it interesting. But the cool thing is these are the least developed as far as human experimentation with, as far as fruits in North America. They have large fruits, but we have not tapped into the potential of these yet. We could have higher yielding trees. We could have fruits that have all different tastes, from creme brulee through all the way to many other flavors. Vanilla custard is kind of the description some people have, but we have not tapped into the potential yet. Another native plant, great for the understory, host for zebra swallowtails and some other species, pollinated by flies and beetles, not really, not the pollinators we normally think of. So a great plant in our permaculture systems, totally untapped potential. All right, so our Monarda is kind of winding down, but this is our number 1 permaculture plant. So I like to include this all throughout the gardens. You'll see lots of butterflies, you'll see hummingbirds, you'll see a really cool the clearwing hummingbird moth that is a moth that actually mimics hummingbirds, and it's an amazing, most people when they see it, they think it's a hummingbird. So we have lots of native functions. Native Americans use this plant all the time, so the leaves are edible. It's in the mint family. It's got square stems. This is probably the best culinary flower there is. If you pull out the flower part, you get those little tubes, and that's got the nectar that those hummingbirds are looking for too. And that part's sweet, and there's a slightly spicy taste to the rest of it. So a lot of flowers people eat just so that they can say they eat flowers, but this one is not like that. It's actually a true culinary flower. Has amazing uses, and I like to put it all throughout the garden. You'll see it fares well, even in patches where it's pretty densely planted beside of it. So we have elderberry, a walnut coming up on its own, pokeweed back there, raspberries, and the Monarda has bloomed, done its thing, and been very crucial for many pollinators in the garden, and provided us with lots of tasty flowers too, and as many leaves as we could ever want to eat for our salads, especially earlier in the year. Okay, thank you for joining Permaculture Now. We need permaculture now because we have lots of problems that we're facing, but instead of seeing insurmountable problems ahead of us, we have insurmountable solutions. All right, thank you guys.